Welcome back to the OPL. We just saw Order able to pick up game number 1 over Sin Gaming. However, a good early game and some highlight reel plays out of Dream does give hope for Sin supporters out there.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it pre this match actually starting. This is the team that could actually take a game off Order, I think, so far. And we saw why that game. Early was messy. They did get ahead, but it was very scrappy, very messy. But kind of if they can get to the same position and then like not throw it away, you have to think that's a much closer game.
Yeah, and unlike my cleanly shaven face, Order's early game was pretty bad, to be honest.
Was it scraggly, like your beard?
Yeah, it was very scraggly. It was like it wasn't like my well-kept beard. It was like when I ran my beard through my fingers that time and looked like Gragas. It was not a pretty early game. However, you do have to commend Order for, you know,
turning it around,
strong and turning it around and winning in 30 minutes, which is still a pretty quick game, to be honest. So,
especially it's a quick game given that you were losing early, because there's that time. League of Legends is kind of like a game of small advantages, and you kind of have to stabilize the game before you can start winning the game. So I often talk about like a stabilization Baron and then a win you the game Baron. Takes a long time. Obviously, it wasn't the case that game, but
see how it works out. Order ban Sejuani straight away, attacking Juves' champion pool again, trying to potentially force him back onto another jungle he's uncomfortable with. Talia this time, as opposed to Katarina, will be taken away by Sin, and Braum will be the ban towards Ku.
Can we ban Spooks from pulling that face? Can I hit the ban list? Can we get rid of it? That needs to be the Twitch emote instead of whatever he's got now. Just pulling the weird eyes to the camera.
What did you think of the Headspace video, by the way?
The players one?
Yeah.
I thought it was real cool. I thought the coolest bit was before the video actually starts, where Simon Swiffer's just like, oh, like, I'm just going to read through it, you know, and Juice is asking, like, oh, do I do this? I thought it's like, it's kind of like, it frames it. It's really, really humble. I think it's real cool.
I was a big fan of it. Yeah. Obviously, both of us know all the players pretty well. And I think it meant a lot to them, especially to be a part of it, and means a lot to us to be a part of it. I think it's coolest thing that's happened in the OPL.
Yeah.
Headspace Round. It's going to be Rise banned away. See what Sin's last ban is going to be.
Will it be the Kalista? Sin Dream play the Ezreal a lot of times, so they do actually ban that one away.
Potentially Order could now look for Ali or could look for Ezreal. Which is more important in that duo, do you think?
I feel like Ezreal, especially given that Dream has played it so much. Kuda not that big of an Ali player, I think.
But he just showed that he's a good Tristana player, which has similar interaction. Oh, Zoe's up.
Yep.
All right.
There we go. Let's scrap that conversation. Let's start again.
That was the stupidest conversation of all time.
Zoe's up.
Zoe.
There
Why
we go.
are you talking about Ezreal and Alistar?
I mean, it's still relevant. The bot lane. You see if they do pick up a Zyra Khan straight away as the answer.
Oh, that's funny. We're all over the shop today. We're just overstimulated.
Why is that?
It was a big week.
No, yeah, okay.
Lots of pressure.
It is the Ezreal. Is it the Ali?
Ezreal.
Do they save us? Come on.
Do they save us?
Come on,
Ezreal, Ali.
You can do it.
I think Ezreal Taric is more Sin Gaming's bottom lane, double tier. And Juves actually picks himself priority, gets himself a Jarvan.
Going back to the Jarvan. We saw the Sejuani is banned away. Game 2 here for Order, so he does go back to his old favourite. I mentioned time and time again, he opened the OPL with that level 2 gank onto Claire. Hell yeah.
Certainly did. And then Game 2 went up top lane and paid a visit to Series back then and was able to get preyed at their head.
And
see
I mean,
whether... Sorry, go.
Well, Jarvan and what we saw from Juice on that Skarner game just basically embodies exactly what we expect out of Sin. When he's just like running it up mid lane and trying to catch down Swiffer. Like, Sin of the team, they're like, okay, like, Swiffer is going to die. Let's go. And like, he just zooms, he uses all his buttons. He has the Predator
apt,
and then Glory. Like, chasing him so far down. Jarvan as well, just like EQ, flash ulti. Just embodies everything you expect out of Sin.
And Bedoin takes himself an Azir, so a good team fighting core picked up for Sin Gaming. A little bit more poke and siege coming out of Order right now with the Tristana, with the Zoe.
Yeah, we'll have to take the clans into that Zoe matchup. You'd think, but into the ban phase now. What do they pinch? Supports, you have to think, will be pinched away from Kuda. Do they ban away to Taric? It was a problem for them last game. Those early engages coming out of Order, they were good, honestly. If you take the Taric out of that game, they would have wiped the floor with Sin under that bot lane tile when they get the huge Ali combo, huge Galio combo. But because of that one singular ability from Kuden, means the tides are turned. So see if they do ban that one away in game 2 here.
Man, Kha'Zix getting banned away, Taric getting banned away. Kha'Zix, Spooks kind of ran it down mid a couple of times.
Yeah, a little bit. It was kind of not a non-factor, like he was contributing damage, but he didn't win them the game. That was absolutely Swiffer and Tally, I think, in conjunction.
I think the thing about Kha'Zix is once he gets equalized, he still does damage, right?
Yep.
Unless he falls really far behind, like not even Duskblade territory, then he's always going to be relevant.
He needs threat. If you fall far enough behind that you're actually legitimately not a threat to a mid laner, to an AD carry, then you're just actually useless. You are straight up an invisible bug running around, placing wards.
Hey, you're not useless. You have some of the best vision control in the game when you're invisible.
Yeah, maybe patch 8.4 Kha'Zix won't be able to. He's not going to have wards
Just
anymore.
Just going to zoom around.
Yes.
Moby Boots Kha'Zix.
He is the ward. That's the evolution.
Kha'Zix Evil in every game. Just not going to be able to see the jungler. They're just going to run around.
Riot needs to release like a Kha'Zix ward, you know? They got like a Coma, they got like a little love heart, just a Kha'Zix one you can place
do you
it
use
in.
the Coma ward? What wards can you use?
I use the like the heart harp. No, the heart harp, like the musical instrument, and the arrow flies through and goes foochink.
Yeah.
Or I use the Coma one, depending on the account. Just because I don't own the same ones on different accounts.
Yep. No, fair enough. And it's going to be the Nah blind picked. So we'll see what Tally wants to pick into that one. Spook still hasn't picked up his champion either.
Does he go back into the Camille skill matchup? For the most part we've seen, it might just be the Scion. We saw this matchup earlier today.
Would be interesting. Katarina Hover coming out of FPI. Imagine if they pick it.
They'll mispick it
all along.
Imagine if they mispick it right here.
And then
they all look at the ref and they're like, hey man, we drop the lobby? Can we do this one again? And then they restart the lobby and they have to pick it. Because there was no bug, there was no glitch, there was nothing. They just locked it in.
Scion going to be picked up again. Now, come on, that's just taking it too far. Funny when FBI did it.
Come on,
pull
bro.
your head in.
That bloody Brayden is liking it. He's having a bit of a giggle once again, but Scion into Nah. We say this matchup, Scion should just be able to, whether the auto attacks, just push in the Nah.
See whether Tally goes Comet, because I think that would be a game changer. We saw two Glacial Augments, and Kuden's going to go with a very defensive support in the Tahm Kench.
Yeah, one of the most defensive bottom lanes coming out, Ezreal Tahm Kench. Will give them the ability to rotate around the map fairly quickly, though.
Wonder if he goes Minion Dematerializer, because I feel like if he can't match waves here, then they can just be shoved in. Because Jarvan kind of has one opportunity pre-6, which is your flag and drag.
Yep.
And you get polved out of that, kind of don't do anything.
You need follow-up. You 100% need follow-up.
But he's not going to have it out of the Tahm Kench. So this is a 2v3 lane, not in the sense that they're going to kill them, but in the sense that they just don't have threat to kill the Tristana unless something goes wrong, until level 6, in which case he dunks you. Demacia.
Also, Tahm Kench sitting under the turret. One of the most useless supports. I've said it time and time again. Sitting under the turret does absolutely nothing.
However, at level 2, you can eat Alistar and do a lot of damage.
I feel like Ali is one of the supports that's very hard to eat. Because you can get 3 stacks, but he's just going to pole you out of the Devour anyway.
You away.
Yep, he's going to knock you back.
Eat him. Acquire his taste. Steak is nice.
Yeah, beef is on the menu.
What is your favourite cut of steak? Are you a steak man?
No, I'm a pork man.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I like pork. What do you mean? When we go get a roast, I get the pork roast.
Yeah, no, but
you get the lamb roast.
Yeah, I get a lamb.
Yeah.
But I am a big fan of Scotch fillet steak. You want to wine and dine me, Mr. Bryce Paul? Learn how to cook
particularly, but
a great Scotch fillet steak.
All right.
Glass of red wine, maybe some fat cut chips, and some nice flakes of sea salt. Will do me just fine. I know what I'm getting for dinner. I am absolutely salivating over the thought.
But I wonder if Sin is salivating over the thought of the victory coming up against Order. They're going to be trying in that game. Game 1, they tried real hard.
I really push your segues to the limit at the moment, don't I? We're on to Summoner's Rift. It's game 2 between Order and Sin Gaming. And Laura is alongside Order's new coach in Choo Choos.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Choo Choos. Now, Sin gave you a bit of a hard time at the beginning of the last game. What advice did you give the team during the break?
Nothing really out of the ordinary. Like, when you Sin, we're pretty good. They have a strong early game. Sometimes when they have a good comp, I think we could have improved our draft last game. I think we significantly improved our draft this game. So this game should be a lot easier for us.
When we spoke to Rogue last week, he was saying the team was trying to do more meditating and be more zen. How do you think this has been helping them so far?
Yeah, meditating has definitely helped out the guys. I know that they're quite an energetic bunch, if you hear them in mic check or anything, but meditating definitely is a good tool to help them soothe down.
And taking a look at both teams' drafts this game, what's the biggest danger you can see, or do you think there's a lane that may have a bit of trouble?
No, I think we outdrafted them pretty good.
All right, best of luck this series.
Thanks,
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Thank you.
Pretty confident.
I think we outdrafted them pretty good.
Draft's good. Game's good. Easy.
Spooks picks up a Camille game. He said not really a Camille player.
Yeah.
He's trying to. He heard that.
Yeah, maybe he wants to prove me wrong. We will see in about 20 minutes if he has done the classic Spooks Kha'Zix and gone 0-2-0, or he switches it up.
I really like that ward on the ramp.
Yep.
Out of both teams, because they're pinging them out right now, and you can see Juves actually places his own ward.
Okay.
So what I was going to say is both of these junglers are level 2 cheese lords. Wow, what the heck? Both of these junglers, level 2 cheese lords.
Yep.
And both of the mid laners are like,
I
happening.
don't want a piece of that.
So you can see 3 wards already placed by Sin, which you normally hold for about 2 minutes 30, and 2 wards used from Order.
It's a cool adaptation, though. Because, yeah, like as you mentioned, you normally hold it for like the level 3 gank, because that's the more standard thing. You watch where they path from...
See, it would be this reset that Swiffer normally wards, but he doesn't have a ward.
He's used it early.
I like it.
So, Jungler's going to end up on opposite sides of the map. For the most part here, Spooks does have the quicker clear. Juve's going for that extra camp before he goes for his buff, so... Tally has opted in for the Comet, like we mentioned, didn't go for the Glacial, so just wants the lane pressure, and Spooks is kind of around. Just going to opt in for the Golems right now.
You max E on Camille Jungle, because it gives you attack speed.
Yep.
Also gives you a nice little bit of damage initially. Stuns up the creeps. You want it off cooldown as much as possible.
Yeah, also gives you the cooldown for when you gank. You have that up more often. It's the best ability versus champions. Kuden.
FBI actually takes some damage. Kuden cancels an order.
Yeah, he does. Kuden actually going for the more defensive Tarm build. Doesn't go for Glacial Augment with approach velocity. Doesn't want to be chasing down the Tristana or the Alley. Just wants to go more defensive, more HP. Just be a tanky catfish.
And he's going to be, because he is absolutely, he's a fatty at the moment. He's got a lot of health. Swiffer drops a heal for himself. That's not all that bad for a W.
Yeah, but interesting that the bot lane out of Order haven't even used a dematerializer yet. But they do constantly have this priority. I say that as they're kind of posturing in between. FBI takes about half his HP, but so does Dream.
Yep. And FBI is one of those AD carries that will be hitting the wave a lot. So Tristana, honestly, with Fleet Footwork, probably going to be much healthier than what Dream is going to be. Also has the Alley Roar, which we just saw every 6 minions, I believe.
I think it's 7. I think it's on the 7th minion. You go, you get a bunch of health back. So we'll see that coming into fruition here, but see the Ezreal on time catch. Getting a bit of work done. Red Pot has been picked up by Dream from his Klepto, so he's popped that one.
And I feel
has
like
a bit more pressure.
This lane, in my opinion, is swayed by who gets a better shop. As Juves is actually based and just grabbed a Hunter's Potion. So he wants to be on the map for a very long time. Respect that. Spooks goes back, gets himself 2 control wards as well as the trackers.
Yep.
What I was going to say is if you get a 1,300 gold shop, so you force them into tier plus longsword or tier plus mana crystal, something crappy like that, then you win the lane as Tristana. However, if they keep the lane very neutral until they can get tier plus Sheen, then the Ezreal wins the lane. Does that make sense? Did I explain that well?
No, absolutely. We saw it last game as well. You mentioned the pickaxe.
Yeah.
And the tier, the tier Sheen pickup, not the pickups there.
They spotted Juves on the bottom side of the map. That's going to be Headbutt Pulve going down onto Kuden. He's very tanky, but Spook's looking to take away a topside Raptor camp.
Contest here, looking. Sin walking over, Doink and Juves
He's
on the vision right now.
And we'll just leave the rest of them.
Tally does also opt in for a base, so Praedyth just used his TP to get back to lane.
Oh, actually, Spooks prioritizes the camp and Juves prioritizes Spooks, but now he's going in.
TP.
Big damage, deep TP coming out. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will not hit. They have to block that one. You can see Tally now with the shield on, looking like a menace, will be able to zone away the other 2 members as Bedoink now burns a flash.
Ooh.
Good hop coming out of Praedyth.
The bubble has to be up
Flash
soon.
over the wall. They want Bedoink. He will be just able to slide out. Tally now flashing over as well, looking for the slow. Will look for the knock-up, gets a flash out of Praedyth. This fight just has not ended, and Praedyth, good job of body blocking for his for his jungler. Will be able to just zone them away.
And such a weird fight. Spooks gets another engage onto Praedyth, but might have just bitten off more than he can chew.
Guys, you're not killing anyone. Just go back.
Oh, that's a big bit of damage. The hyper procs from the boomerang out of Praedyth, but pretty weird little 3v3 there. Spooks obviously had that deep ward that saw Juves and Bedoink come for the contest, and he baits back towards that instead of towards his base. They flipped sides of the map there. So Bedoink had to flash to safety. Praedyth had to flash as well. But Flash is kind of just burnt across the board. 2 for 2 here. Swiffer holds onto his, and so does Juves.
Yeah, you can see right now, Deploy and Recall came out of order. They got themselves a 1,300 gold shop.
Oy.
So it's going to be tier plus a Cull picked up for Dream versus a BF sword, which is honestly not the best position to be in.
Yep. I mean, if they do just keep playing towards top side and they can just sit under the turret wave clearing. I mean, Ezreal's wave clear is just not good at all. Tristana will eventually be able to get some chip damage on the turret. But if they can play through top side, then might be fine.
Oof.
What did he build?
No, he went to like single HP
Oh.
and smited a camp, and that's his health after smiting the camp.
He saw what Juves did at the golems and had to run away. He was like, my turn.
Wolves used to be able to crit.
Yeah.
If that was the old school Wolves camp, he's dead. There's a Tally, you can see, up in CS. Did burn that teleport for a very deep team fight.
But Praetor also just TP back to lane, so they match that one. Cooldown fairly similar there. And so everything, despite that
Craziness.
real weird 3v3, we see Order run through Sin's jungle. Kind of everything goes back to normalcy. Pretty even across the board, only a 300 gold lead. CS and Klepto Procs basically make up the brunt of that.
Oh, engage in the bottom lane. You can see Rogue looking for that stun. However, Kunin's just taking no damage.
Yep. Smart thing Kuden does there is actually pop the E, not after the damage is taken, pops it early, so gets a smaller shield, but knows it's overall going to keep him a lot more healthy.
Yep. As Juves and Spooks meet one more time. Juve just sitting over the wall trying to defend his pink. Is indefensible, however.
And we see this game Rogue actually base, and because he doesn't have enough for the Moby straight away, opts in for the Targons instead of the Relic Shield, wants to get that Sightstone upgrade as early as possible, because obviously they don't have the lead that they did before, so it means he can't just run around the map as much as he did last game.
Yeah, for sure. I also think that this is one of those games where, honestly, Order are just happy to get 2 items on Tristana as well as Zoe and look to siege down turrets. I don't think they're in a rush, unlike the last game where they seem to be playing very quickly.
Yeah. But I mean, like, on the opposite side of the coin, Ezreal Azir don't scale too badly as well.
Yep.
But you mentioned that Order looking for something.
Oh,
Do they
they're
see?
looking for Juves. Actually,
Bubble
will be able
lands.
to land Sleepy Trouble Bubble. However, he buffers it nicely and gets over the wall. I feel like we said buffer a lot today, but honestly, Sin are playing this well.
Yeah, Senna honestly just playing really well around CC. Saw it from Dream, we see it from Juves there. Unfortunately for Swiffer, I feel like he did his combo in the wrong order. If he just lands that bubble and then goes over and lands any damage,
Yeah.
Spooks can hold him in place for enough time to lock him down and actually potentially look for the kill there. But because the W comes out of the Camille, breaks the sleep. So they do get a blue buff for their troubles right now. Do have the
Potentially,
bot lane.
however, Juves running back there. Nah, he just bails out of the play. Feels like he can't contest, so Spook's able to pick that one up with a smite.
Tom Kench is also a support. I'm just going to harp on the fact Tom Kench getting shoved in does absolutely nothing. He also contests that blue buff really poorly because he has to walk through the choke. He needs to auto-attack you to apply his W to have any sort of kill threat, whereas Rogue, if anybody brings, if Kuden brings any of his friends, if anybody walks over through that choke, you get the AoE knock-up out of the Alistar. It's just so difficult for him to actually influence that invade. So you mentioned Juves kind of paths down there, but looks at the vision, says no way that's happening, walks topside.
Yeah, you can see right now there's a brief window where Praetus actually managed to get himself some priority against Tally. In the mid lane, Bedoink puts out some good damage. Swiffer in some trouble. Burns the cleanse, actually. Miscommunication out of Bedoink and Juves because Bedoink definitely wanted to try and kill Swiffer there.
I like that one. In some trouble, lands the bubble. But the blue buff contest coming out of Sin here, trying to match what Order did to them about a minute ago. But that's going to be a reset.
Also, it doesn't look like Order care. They just might take themselves an Infernal Dragon for it, and Sin kind of know that, so they just back away from the buff.
Yep, Juves not willing to continue to that line of play there. Spooks has himself a blue buff, stolen that one away. Swiffer, kind of sitting low mana right now.
I feel like with Mana Flow banned as well as the fact that you got that stupid item that gets removed next patch, which is good. As a ward goes very far over the pack. Double TP is up and available for Order. I reckon they might be looking for a bottom lane 5v5 fight again. But won't happen. FBI instead will just take a solo turret for himself.
Yeah, that's what we see. The push advantage coming out of this Tristan alley. Ezreal Tom Kench has no wave clear to the name, so eventually the satchels on the turret do just build up over time. That's too much for Sin's bottom lane to handle, so they do lose their turret
Potentially
fairly
he's going to get himself
naturally.
an Infernal Drake as well, which for Zoe is just obnoxious because on this patch to get slightly banged on the Q.
0.25 by the way.
Yep. So that could make up that minuscule amount of damage missing.
Yep, so it does seem like a bit of a weird trade, but because of the bot lane going down,
What do you mean weird trade? What did they trade? They
the
just
blue
seeded
buff.
2 objectives.
The blue buff, that's what I mean. They have to get something. It's better than trying to contest an Infernal Drake that you're ultimately going to have to back out of anyway. So they do actually get his ear the blue buff, so he has the advantage over Swiffer right now, but because he did just base, pick himself up the Sork Shoes, and that's what the Sork Shoes do. Flat Magic Pen, big DPS, big bubble.
I feel like this
Big
is
boom.
an adaptation that Sharp's mid laner has actually brought into the OPL. Triple, at the moment, is a huge fan of double Dorian's rings into Morellonomicon. Gives you a little bit more health in the early game to survive these annoying ganking junglers. As Swiffer actually looking for a kill here. Picks up first blood off screen. Meanwhile, Rogue goes for a bit of a stroll.
Place a ward, you know. He's just living life.
To be fair, he was like half health and died. I don't know if people expected that.
Trying to wave clear under his turret. Not to mention, when you look at Spellbook Zoe, she has so much extra sustain. On this patch, you get the extra potion duration.
Yep.
Probably has biscuits in there as well. That's when he has that extra mana regen from the double door and hits the Morellos.
Minion dematerial.
Oh, no, he does actually, yep.
But right now, you can see they match the swap, and Order's taken down mid lane turret. So Sinner in a world of hurt, kind of similar to Chiefs, honestly, without as many kills as the Chiefs were able to pick up.
See this one again. QR, dead. See you later. He had to burn his real flash to extend the distance there. Nice play out of Swiffer, but does know his damage limits. With the Sork Boots coming out. Absolutely pops Bedoink, had the flash available, just didn't expect the amount of damage that came out of Swiffer.
This is dangerous out of Spooks, but because with Tahm Kench and Ezreal, you can make this rotation very quickly. However, I feel like that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get them to back off the turret. He actually doesn't want the buff at all, and he's just trying to open up some more gold for his team.
Yep, that's going to be the turret.
Good buffer.
Yep, combo buffered out of Dream. Gets himself out of the CC, but as you mentioned, yeah, Spooks doesn't actually commit to the invade there.
When do you respect Dream enough that you actually play the matchup well if you want to kill him, where you
just headbutt, you hold
flash, pole?
That's really weird to say into an Ezreal, because normally that happens into Sivir.
Yeah.
But I feel like at this stage, potentially starts becoming an issue.
Because I feel that's how you actually kill him there. If you think that's a genuine kill, headbutt, pulverize, you just headbutt, flash Q, you're going to be able to guaranteed hit him after the buffer, and then, you know, FBI jumps on him, you have Ignite, he 100% dies, unless Tahm Kench is close enough to swallow him there.
Yep.
However, go for the non-committal play out of it.
Yep. I mean, he's just looking for opportunities, right? Like, he doesn't actually want to commit too hard. TP is available for Praedit. Spooks just backed out of the jungle, so if he does...
I wasn't saying he should there. I'm saying when does he do it? In team fights now, is Rogue in the back of his head saying, hey, this guy's done this 5 out of 5 times. I have to actually, you know, burn the flash.
If Rogue ever actually gets in combo distance in a team fight, I think he does. If he has his flash available. If he has to kind of like... If you just flash headbutt, obviously you're using your flash, but that's kind of banking on the fact that he won't react to that instant cooldown. You just flash, headbutt, pulverize. Seemingly instant CC coming out of the cow.
Not to mention, we don't really see Flash Headbutt Pulverize out of Spellbook Ali anymore, as they go in. However, FBI over the wall. He's a jump forward, Tristana right now. Into the back line goes Spooks as well into Praedit. There's a train in there as well, but Doink shoves 2 members back, makes it kind of a 1v1. However, we'll have to burn the cleanse to get out of Sleepy Trouble Bubble. We'll also flash there. Looking to pick up Swiffer, however, cannot do it. He's going to fall down. On the back end of the fight, Praedit lived. Tahm Kench is headed for the hills, and Order looking to push down mid lane.
2 kills over to Order. That is a fairly split fight out of there. The carry split up. Juice goes down almost immediately. FBI did chase away to the right-hand side of your screen, but it was just not enough. Bedoink couldn't get enough distance between himself and the carries. The ulti didn't, unfortunately for him, lock down Swiffer. So that will be the Rift Herald drop by Spooks as well.
Yeah,
that's
really
be
wants
turret.
one charge onto the turret to try and pick this one up. Maybe able to save it.
It's going to
goes down.
There we go.
On the back end of the fight. TP coming out. You can see they still want this. Juve's chasing his old 80 carry in FBI. Rogue trying to play goalie. Swiffer just hanging around, posturing aggressively.
Yeah.
However, Rift Herald got a second charge onto that turret, and now he's taking some swipes at it, and they're just ignoring it.
Yeah, it's a weird TP coming out of Swiffer. We see the bubble land onto Juve, and he gets almost one shot by the paddle star there. And this is where the fight gets fairly split. Tally, ult is in from the backside for Praedit. Can't really influence the play that Bedoink tried to set up. He tried to get that ulti combo, but nah. Sitting on Mini right now. He burns his flash futilely to try and escape, but Swiffer just barely living here.
Yeah, exactly right. And meanwhile, on the back end, Praedit actually burned a heal as well as 2 flashes as people tried to chase him. Credit to the Order duo in Spooks and Tally. They were on the same page because they wanted to get over that wall.
Oh, Praedit wanted to get over that wall, but unfortunately he didn't.
You don't know that. Maybe he just wanted to... Ooh. Hello.
Goodbye. Goodbye, camp.
Did you see LS's video on Zoe?
Which one?
He did a patch rundown.
No.
Cool. You should. I think everyone out there should watch it. LS is a very smart guy, obviously. He said that he feels like Zoe right now just gets played because she's strong. But no one really understands her. Like, it's not like anyone plays her at like a 10. It's like
everyone
you
plays
play her at
a
a 7 or an 8.
Yep.
And because she's so ridiculously strong, she looks like a 10.
Like, everyone is a Zoe player, but nobody's really a Zoe player.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas he reckons the nerfs now will, like, show you, like,
Who's a Zoe
people
player?
will be cool Zoe players now, because a lot of her damage has been moved to her passive, and there's some cooler stuff coming out. So I was just, interesting conversation to have in a lull.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened with LeBlanc. Everyone's like, she's dead. And I was like, no. The fact that she's not going to kill you in 0.2 of a second is dead. But LeBlanc players will still play LeBlanc. And we saw that for a very long time.
And we've seen it with other champions as well. Victor sort of coming back into meta. We've seen Claire pick it up.
Yep. He's a Victor player.
He's a Victor player. Has always been a Victor player. And
I'm
then
sure Fantix is playing it as well somewhere.
Yep, so Dragon. The next spawn will be the Ocean, so
hello.
Order won't be able to get themselves a double Infernal combo, but they will just be able to get themselves this one for free. Gold lead, about almost 5,000 in their favor right now, sitting fairly pretty, approaching the 18-minute mark.
And we talked about this in the Chiefs game, however, they really generated picks well.
Yep.
This is the kind of game where you've taken your 3 outers, you've taken your Rift Herald turret, and now it's 17 minutes into the game, and you're like, okay, let's deny some camps and set up some vision.
Lull.
Yeah. However, what the Chiefs did incredibly well is Babip especially just generated picks with Kha'Zix, attack the side lane. So really want to see whether Spooks can get into Tally's lane and start trying to bully out Praedyth in that mini-Gnar form, because they have a lot of CC. He should not be able to escape a Camille as well as a Scion. And that's how you kind of accelerate the game when it's at this stage.
It's not to mention, based on how Sin actually contest the map versus how Tectonic were, they were walking in attempting to clear out some of the vision here. Sin, see a bubble flying across the map from Swift and just walk away.
Actually cancel the combo. Juve's going to get stunned up. In jumps FBI. Actually didn't flash there. That was a Juve's flash. And so the successful disengage is there.
Yeah, Buster shots himself. And the enemy's away to try and keep some safety. Ocean Drake, that they did just pick up, means he's going to be able to stay and slowly heal up, especially with the fleet footwork as well. But that is the Emperor's Divide out of the Azir. Hex Flash coming over. Rogue trying to get a piece of the action, but this turret will
take a boatload of damage. Will not fall down because of... Oh, that's actually a Scion ulti into the bottom lane. We'll just use it to clean up a wave. He's a fun interactive champion.
There's the CC, but the AoE damage is also relevant. So if you use the ulti into a wave, it just goes kaboom. That's exactly what Tally does. Praedyth knows he's not going to be able to kill him for about 10 years here, so he just walks away, takes himself.
Do you know what the real annoying thing about Scion? I'm going to do an impression that people at home can't see. But when he's slow, he kind of like hunkers down like he's injured and just like kind of walks away from you. But you know that he's full health and a full tank Scion, and he's just got a slow walk animation.
He just seems weaker than he is.
When he's been slowed. And it's real frustrating because you're like, I know I can't kill this guy. Why are you walking like that? Like, get out of here. As Juves takes another paddle star to the face. He gets one hit.
Very low. Sitting on just the Merc Treads and the Cinderhole. Actually sticking around, has that Hunter's Potion, so it can heal up a little bit. Kuden's actually just leashing his camps. He's like, hey man, I got nothing to do. You want this one? And he's bases, yeah. Legitimately straight up leashing his camps at 19 minutes into the game.
I mean, yeah, he's trying to give solo experience over to Dream because we talk about it a lot. But at this stage of the game, if your carries lose experience, having a rank 2 ulti versus a rank 1 ulti or a rank 3 ulti versus a rank 2 ulti is absolutely massive deal. Not to mention, on 80 carries, the scaling of attack speed is really crucial as they're starting to hit Zeal items, or in Dream's case, something like a Blade of the Ruined King. So,
not to mention, in this specific instance as well, if FBI starts getting further ahead on the clock, he's Tristana, so he's literally just going to get more range.
Yep.
He gets attack speed like everyone else, but he also gets range, so it just becomes harder and harder against a snowball Tristana to actually lock her down.
Rogue obviously agrees with Ejim that your support gets, that your AD carry gets all wards, as FBI was able to take 2 there. Come on, give him one of them.
He also agrees with me that he takes Hex Flash. Yeah. Has Flash available right now, but has that rune as well.
Were you a player that would swap skins if you played a champion twice?
Nah, that was Swiper.
That is a Swiper thing. Oh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Gonna get eaten.
Yep. Nice pseudo counter pick into Tahm Kench there. Means that despite the bubble laning, no summoners have to be
here.
burnt by Dream.
That was potentially a 2v2 in the jungle.
Juves
wants it.
Doesn't get
not going to be able to buffer it. Jumps the other way, gets ultied, and in goes the big Gnar, and that will be Rogue falling down. FBI somehow got out of that one as Tally's now onto the back line. You can see Spooks picks up that kill. Tally,
big
while you're tanking, we'll be able to knock up a couple of members, and Swiffer goes in. You can see FBI now just starting to hit them, looking for the resets. Gets one, yes, does. We'll be able to jump back out. Spooks goes in, gets another kill. Hextech ultimatum onto Dream. Can he get him? No, Swiffer will snipe over the wall, knock up, not good. And somehow, that is a 2 for 4 that Order won.
Looked coming out of absolutely nowhere. A nice bunch of micro plays. Kuden keeps his mid laner alive out of the bubble for a brief moment, but then Tally dodges a turret shot to pick up the 1-for-1 kill onto Dream. Means that Order do get access to the inhib despite FBI being on 2 HP.
Yeah, that was actually a really interesting team fight. We'll see whether Juice
Yep.
wants to go in again for a repeat performance. No, gets slowed down. FBI sticks around for some creeps. Meanwhile, has a little bit of a dance. Swiffer top lane will take a turret.
But honestly, you have to kind of credit Sin once again. In actually,
Oh,
FBI's taunting
he actually
cancelled.
interrupts him. FBI hands on head.
Oh.
That is what you get when you BM.
That is embarrassing, almost.
No, that is.
100%, you're sitting there
almost.
taunting Juice.
You maybe just cost your team a Baron.
Ex-teammate as well.
It's 22 minutes into the game. He's a 3-item Tristana. He has fallen down.
No TPs available
And
for
that is-
Swiffer or Tally. Do they actually set up around the Baron? It
I
will be a
think you do.
4v5.
When you're down 7,000 gold, you got an Azir, you got an Ezreal. Just start up the Baron, make them come to you, and that's what they do. They do this very quickly. Already 8,000 health. FBI not going to be available. 5,000. Order have to go. See a 2-level lead right now for Spooks. Swiffer's not here. 1,500 over the wall. Actually can't get him. They get the Baron. Now can they win the team fight? You can see Kuda going very low. Just live, as Ejim says.
They just walk away.
And they trade 1-for-1 in a Baron.
Kuden dies for the Baron. But he absolutely does not mind, and that's literally a play born off the back of FBI BMing the ex-teammate and Juice, sitting there with a taunt, spamming that one, and that's going to be the Baron picked up by Sin. Gold lead still 5,000 in the favor of Order. Yeah. But Juice has got a big grin on his face. He's looking smug. He's looking real happy about that one.
That is the stabilization Baron.
Yep.
And I can tell you, the general manager of Order is going to have a very stern talking to the FBI.
Rough. I feel like the rest of his team right now is already having a very stern talking to FBI.
I feel like this is not something you bring up in a game. I feel like you just say, that's all right, dude, head down, play for the next play.
Okay. All right.
You still have to win the game.
You do. You do, but everyone's thinking it, and FBI knows that right now. Air Drake will be the dragon that spawns, so not much of a contest going over, but you mentioned the stabilization Baron. This is it. Inhib is still down on the base of Sin, so they're just going to catch these waves. Slowly, this will give them a bit of time to slowly catch back up the gold lead, get them to the next items.
Not to mention, they were 7,000 gold down. Now they're only 5,000 gold down. So 2,000 gold swing already. They're pinging out onto Tally.
Not to mention, they don't have the biggest buys, but Dream approaching his Bork, approaching his second item. As,
somehow Praedyth died off screen.
Praedyth.
So goodbye, Praedyth.
Yep.
Tally potentially should just ult out here, because it makes you unstoppable.
Yep.
So then Juice would have to burn an ulti or something like that. Instead, just walks it out. You can see the Order's just walking into the base.
And normally the team with the Baron should be able to race here. Tally's actually trying to stop some recalls. He does force the rest of Sin to stay.
Yeah, will get ulted up, as we said, so he's going to fall down. You can see the damage is certainly there, but what the Order get in the meantime, because you still can't recall in front of Sion.
4-second recalls coming out with the Baron, though. Will give them time with this turret. Will be going down. Rogue actually pops the Righteous Glory. Comboed the wave, I think.
No, he headbutted the wave to gap close and then was going to look for the flash
onto his ear.
You can see that Sleepy Trouble bubble hit, so big damage coming in on Juice. That's half his health.
Yeah, but honestly, they lost an inhib turret. That kind of sucks. Praedyth getting caught. That's what they bought from that. But this Baron has netted Dream his second item. It went from Juice, was just a Cinder Hulk Jarvan, to now sitting on half of his next item, going for that Warmogs.
Dream's got a third item, by the way. So he's a
sorry.
three-item.
Yep.
That's because it's valued nothing.
Yep.
So it puts it down the right end of the bar, when really it should be valued probably the most. So
Yeah,
it should be
that's real weird, to be honest.
It sucks.
Yep.
I just wish they would fix it.
Yep. It's definitely a better item than a longsword. I take the more mana every day of the week.
Yeah, I reckon I agree with you there. Unless maybe your Aatrox.
Yeah. I mean, didn't Genja build it on Aatrox once?
Nah, not Kenja Darien.
Sorry, Darien. Yeah, Genja was the 80k. Was the OD.
That was the funniest thing ever. He was just so far ahead.
He just didn't care. He was the play. FBI was trying to be the guy like, yeah, I don't care, I'm going to taunt in your face, but then it just backfires.
Yeah, actually Rogue's been caught out. Will pole him up, push away Kuda so he can't save him. Spooks dies as well. Double kill picked up right now. And Order are starting to get picked off. Kuda's a tanky dude, so doesn't really care about the Sleepy Trouble bubble. 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, it's a nice trade coming out. Austin Gaming Lane, a bubble barely misses.
Skimmed his bum. However, Praedyth is now
Maybe
bottom
once
lane
again.
and will be spotted out. No, he's going to recall.
He knows
see whether
they're there.
FBI gets there in time. Does he jump over the wall? Praedyth, auto attack is good. And now the 1v1. You can see that FBI will push him away, make him go mega. Tally TP. In comes the Tahm Kench as well. Hop away. And that is actually with Dream, and he kills his AD carry. And now Kuda will get sniped on the back end. what looked like a good play out of Sid turns to absolutely nothing.
And it was multifaceted, right? Praedyth didn't think he was on a ward, so he's like, look, I'm going to push in. They don't know where I'm actually recalling. Like, if they do know, then I can base. But he doesn't find that time. FBI does cancel the recall, and then Kuden tries to go in and save him. You saw Praedyth jumps on top of the Tahm Kench, wants to get eaten to safety, and I feel like there has to be a bit of miscommunication there with Dream, because he takes an Abyssal Voyage into 3 members of Order. That's going to be 2 inhibs down.
Yeah, and potentially it could be more, because there's 10 seconds still left. No, they clear out the creep wave. Order, this time giving the due respect that they should have maybe the first time around, and we'll just go for a hard reset. Swiffer still hasn't died this series as well. 4-0 and 5. Not as good a KP this time around, but still a very impressive game week to week. Have to say the improvement is there for the Order mid laner.
Certainly impactful. Is Vision Score something we should talk about?
Potentially. What do you want to talk about?
Well, it's just kind of weird. It's kind of been fallen under the radar for the most part.
Because I don't know how it's calculated. I didn't read the article. I'm not going to lie.
I mean,
I'm a play-by-play caster now. I don't have to. How does Vision Score work?
I'm like honestly not sure of the technicalities, but it's based on basically vision cleared, vision placed, things like that. So Swiffer obviously trying to bump up his numbers right now. Wants to stay ahead of Tally and ahead of FBI because he's bought 3 pink wards or 3 control wards. Wants to keep them at bay.
So honestly, Swiffer is the 2nd or 3rd highest pink wards dropped in most Order games. He buys a lot of pink wards, and it's because his job isn't really to kill his lane anymore, like the old school Swiffer, pick LeBlanc, pick Twisted Fate. It's more to like control mid lane and be able to roam around, and I think that you have to be able to do that with Vision on this current patch.
Oh, Juice is looking.
Yeah, actually goes in, doesn't burn the ultimate, however, is able to clear out the wave.
But I mean, to continue that point, Swiffer sitting on 41 right now, and it was almost double Bedoink.
Yep.
Obviously, Bedoink sitting on max capacity items, has that refillable still. So hasn't sold it for a pink ward. Still sitting on the Dorans, whereas Swiffer obviously has sold his Dorans there. He had 2 early in the game, so he's just sold them to finish off an item and has those extra slots available for Vision. But Order do have 2 inhibs, but no Baron right now, so the wave clear coming out of the Ezreal. Out of the Azir is the big one. It's very rough to push
Sion kind of strangling the mid lane. So trying to get multiple waves pushed. We talk about it a lot, but against Azir, you have to at least play 2 waves.
Nara on this wave, though, is exhausted, so he's not going to have the Mega Nara, and Tally walking just from mid, can just ulti into the fight.
Flash in, actually looking to delete FBI, not able to get him. He has to jump away, but Juice will fall down. That will be an eat onto Bedoink. Sleep hits onto Dream, so he's going to sleep as well. That's 3 members. Now Tally just marching forward. He's an inevitability, and you can see they just can't keep him off him. Swiffer flashing forward, will be able to land the sleep. No damage to follow up. You see the ultimate shot out of Dream, trying to keep them at bay. But already Order are onto the Nexus turrets, and I reckon FBI should just hit him. No, maybe we'll go down again. Definitely deserves that one too. And Rogue will also fall.
Can they defend?
Does that mean they can actually defend?
2v3.
You can see both turrets now fall down. You can see they really want this one. Dream gets slowed up by Tally. Will be at half health. However, Tally going to fall down as well. And one more time, Order's bottom lane means that they cannot end this game.
They just decide instead of ending the game, they want to int a little bit. FBI walks up to the wall. Praedyth slams him into that one. That means the game's not over yet. We've seen this one before.
And I mean, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. I mean, that is absolutely...
Shame on FBI.
I mean, let's call a spade a spade. That is despicable play coming out of the Order bottom lane.
That's greedy.
FBI does something silly, and the Rogue says, it's my responsibility to bail out my friend, and potentially that will be the 2nd Baron that will go over to Sin due to completely questionable play.
And look at Spooks' hair. He's getting more and more disheveled as this game goes on.
Yeah, he's not a happy man. As Praedyth being caught out here, stunned, they will be able to pick that one up. However, empowered recalls, I don't think they can end because Bedoink's going to be back.
They will.
So this is just going to be a 5v4 play for the Nexus. Kuden actually falls down as well.
Kuden just sacrificed himself. He knew he needed, in order for Swiffer and Spooks to not end that game, he needed to stop the recall. So he just walks at the Tristana, walks at the alley. Means that his carries actually get back to base. So, I mean, he dies for it. It's a burden on his score, but honestly, a good play out of the man in the bot lane.
It certainly is, and both of FBI's... actually they engage here. They're looking for Swiffer. They go in, headbutt pulverize onto the Azir as well. Resets coming through. FBI still chasing kills when really he should just be hitting the Nexus. Gets called off that one. It will be a 2-0. However, I feel that Order will take a good hard look at themselves tonight before the game versus Avant tomorrow.
That was a roughie. That was a roughie. That was not clean at all. Game 1, pretty messy. FBI, big grin on his face, but
Yeah, I think that is not a grid.
I wonder if we get the interview with FBI.
All right.
Let's ask him a few
Put me on the
questions.
couch, really.
You know, yeah. What would you ask him?
But a win's a win, 2-0 right now for Order. They pick up the 3 points that game. Obviously, they're the first cab off the rank tomorrow as well against Avant Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking about how important it is for them in contention with the top of the ladder with Direwolves to actually be picking up the 3 points. So very messy series, but you mentioned 3 points, 2-0. It's a big deal coming out of the Order lineup.
Yeah, it certainly is. Sin at the same time, I feel like there wasn't a team moment that really stood out to me, but there were individual player moments in that game. I think that Dream in both games actually looked very good.
Yeah,
I think
I
Bedoink, as the other rookie, had some shining moments. I think that Juves is still a little bit over-aggressive on pulling that trigger in situations.
But I feel like that is potentially what Sin need.
Yep.
Because Kuden's not going to be pulling the trigger. Bradith seems more interested in getting picked off in a side lane than playing like an engage. And I mean, he's been playing Nah. He doesn't really play much on. He plays the Lucian and stuff like that, so he's not really an engage tool. So kind of Juves is compensating for the rest of his team that's not going to be able to do it. So like, yes, it's a criticism, but when you're the only one that's able to do it,
yeah, for sure,
I feel like it's fairly valid.
Yeah, completely agree. I think in that game that they had fallen so far behind that even the fact that they were a better counter-engaged team wasn't going to mean all that much against Zoe Tristana. So I definitely take that. Potentially Juves just looking for the only winning play that he saw.
Yep.
Throwing the kitchen sink there as we see the team shake hands. But I think that, you know, there are still questions from both of these teams. Certainly not the cleanest game for Order.
Certainly not. Very big questions in regards to closing out a game for Order. I mean, it's kind of it's not one of those things where you're like, oh man, that play was so bad that it was just BM. It wasn't like, oh, FBI's a bad player and he got caught off. That was FBI's being an idiot and he got caught off. You know, I feel like there's a very distinct difference between like where that play sort of comes from.
But if you do that in an OPL game,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, you deserve to be punished for
if
it.
That was the grand final.
So hats off to Juves. I'm very thankful to Sin Juves right now because, as you said, if it's a grand final, if it's a gauntlet game, potentially that costs you something. Fortunately for FBI, I mean, able to get away with it today.
I was kind of joking that Spooks' player cam got more and more disheveled as that game went on because there was those 2 moments where FBI basically cost them the Baron, and it's like. I mean, like, that stuff matters. This was the second game in a best of 3, but if that is a gauntlet, if that is a final, especially gauntlet like game after game, if Order comes something like 3rd and that's the first day and you're like, oh, there's just this little bit of doubt in your mind, like, oh, is FBI
or you just tilt your
just going to do something like real done? Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we won't talk about it anymore, but I bet you someone else will. We're going to throw alongside to Laura, Sharp, and Tally.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, we are joined here by Tally, top laner for Order. First of all, congratulations on the 2-0.
Thank you.
It didn't come easy, though. What did you think of your team's performance today?
A bit shaky. I think we've been struggling with the early game a lot recently, and it did show in that game, and I think a good team will be able to abuse that, but hopefully we're going to iron it out and become better.
That first game definitely had me on the edge of my seat. Are you able to talk to us about what went wrong for you guys before you turned it around?
Most of the time we just like we'd have this epiphany where it's like, let's just fight. We just like to fight a lot, and then most of the time it turns out bad. But I think our micro really comes out good for us in the end, and most of the time we're able to win team fights we shouldn't.
So I got a question for you, Tally. So like with all the hype in the top lane at the moment in the OPL, you know, you got with the likes of Sleeping, you got Mimic, you got Chippies, you got Swiper. How do you think you're faring up at the moment?
I think recently I've been doing pretty well with my own performances. I personally think top is now the best role on OS. I think there's a wide pool of talent, and that hasn't been like a thing in the past in OS. I think anyone can take matchups off each other. I think it's a really good role to be in right now.
Yeah. So what do you think differentiates you from the other top laners?
I think it's my ability to be flexible and the fact that I can play both the carry and the tank part of the team and be like the weak side. So I'm pretty happy to do that for my team.
Yeah, yes, because it's actually been seen that you can actually be the carrier of the team as well as being able to soak up a lot of that pressure. So, I mean, I got actually another question that me and Laura were talking behind stage. That Sion is the most annoying champion in the game to verse. Even Spawn said on the broadcast, Sion is just absolutely really annoying. So, what advice do you have out there for any of the players and any of the viewers watching to be able to counter that Sion?
Well, with Sion, he pretty much just will eat you alive in lane. Like 1 through 9, he's just going to harass you down. You can't really avoid it. I'd suggest you just rush some early magic resist in either Mercs or a raincoat, but the Spectral Cow, I like to call it a raincoat. You like pretty much he's just going to eat you alive, and then out of lane he's just going to be a big poo. Like, so you just wait for that. You just hope your team's going to carry you.
So do you have any other words out there for the other top laners in the OPL to kind of like I guess, if you have any words for the OPL top laners?
Probably, I'm really happy that everyone is so close in skill this year. It's really exciting. I'd like to say, please don't pick Sion against me. I don't want to leave this that as well. And I'm just personally really glad that it's so competitive.
Yeah, because previously it's actually been like a very mid-focus, like Oceania's been very mid-focused. But yeah, no, it's really great to see that top lane has a lot of this talent.
Yeah.
Tally, you'll be going up against Avant in the very first match tomorrow. Do you have any thoughts or expectations heading into that match, or anything you'd like to say to Pavu?
I think personally, we need to perform a lot better than we did today to beat AV. They're a formidable side. I don't really have words for Pavu, but I do for Jake. I want to smash Jake because we're really close. And I want to shake his hand and see the defeat in his eyes.
Brutal words there. Well, congratulations on your win once again. Also, a big shout out to Sharp for joining us on the couch. Thank you for blessing us with your insight. And don't forget, guys, it is our Headspace round. So if you'd like to find out information or advice on mental health, you can head over to headspace.org.au/League of Legends. But to close out our first day of the Headspace round, let's hand it back over to Jake and Bryce.
So there you have it. Need a much better performance out of Order tomorrow to be able to take down Avant.
Tally's also a savage, because Juju's in his interview, they're saying, oh yeah, like Sin's like a pretty formidable opponent. And then Tally's like, yeah, AV's a real formidable opponent. But then he's just like, yeah, Jake, I want to see the defeat in his eyes as I shake his hand.
Well,
like,
I think, like,
I want to crush him.
The thing about Tally is like they're really looking towards a Rogue player if they want trash talk. Tally actually just is friends with everyone. The only thing he wants is to beat the people he's friends with more.
Yeah.
So a little bit of friendly banter going on between those two.
Pro tip, talking about counters to Sion, not just top lane. If you're a support main and then like your 5th pick in a solo queue game and they pick in like Sion top lane, you just play Trundle, man. Yeah. I do it all the time to Swiper. Obviously, we're very close and he's a big Sion player. Every time I pop into him and he locks in Sion, I just pick Trundle immediately.
Especially
you just pillar people out of the ulti. He's a truck coming in and you just pop your pillar and he just can't do anything. He hits your wall.
Slows are really effective against Sion because after that ultimate doesn't have any gap closers.
Yep.
And also, Trundle's not that bad in lane against the melees right now, especially people like Tom Kench.
Also, if like
really well.
Solo frontline in a Sion, you just ult him, you get tons of resist. Feels good. Feels good, man.
Very good. So let's take a look at the schedule, bring it up onto your screen. It was the Chiefs Esports Club kicking us off with a 2-0 victory over Tectonic, and Order continued the red side trend, taking the 2-0 over Sin Gaming tomorrow at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I've mastered that. Avant Gaming will take... I haven't mastered this bit. Avant Gaming will take on Order before Legacy play the Direwolves in the game of the week. Of course, Sunday is going to be Sin versus the Chiefs before Bombers take on Tectonic.
Big day of games tomorrow, to be honest.
Certainly is. I'm actually really looking forward to both of them. Which one to you is the standout?
Honestly, the first one. After this performance from Order versus Sin, I think Tally just mentioned it on the couch as well. Like, they had a real shaky early game. But AV also have had fairly shaky early games, I think. So in terms of matching those two up, it'll be pretty interesting. Tally says he wants to crush Jake, but I feel like AV against Legacy have struggled, and they're a pretty traditionally slow team. So these two teams kind of like match up and see if Order can bounce back from today.
All right, cool. That is going to be the first game tomorrow at 2 p.m. However, guys, that is the League of Legends actions we have for you today. Thank you so much for spending your Friday night with us. On behalf of myself, Ejim, Laura, Sharp, the entire production crew, and of course, Headspace. We'll see you tomorrow. In, however, FBI over the wall. He's a jump forward, Tristana right now. Into the back line goes Spooks as well into Praetor. There's a train in there as well, but Doink shoves 2 members back, makes it kind of a 1v1. However, will have to burn the cleanse to get out of Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Will also flash there. Looking to pick up Swiffer, however, cannot do it. He's going to fall down. And in goes the big nah, and that will be Rogue falling down. Look, Kelly, while taking, we'll be able to knock up a couple of members, and Swiffer goes in. You can see FBI now just starting to hit them, looking for the resets. Gets one, yes, does. We'll be able to jump back out. Spooks goes in, gets another kill. Hextech ultimatum onto Dream. Can he get him? No, Swiffer will snipe.
But honestly, you have to kind of credit Sin once again. In actually, FBI's talking.
He interrupts him. FBI hands on head. That is what you get when you BM. Actually, Rogue's been caught out. Will pole him up, push away Kuda so he can't save him. Spooks dies as well. Double kill picked up. Flash in, actually looking to delete FBI. Not able to get him. He has to jump away, but Jews will fall down. That will be an eat onto Bedoink. Sleep hits onto Dream, so he's going to sleep as well. That's 3 members. It will be a 2-0. However, I feel that Order will take a good hard look at themselves tonight before the game versus Avant tomorrow.